310 BC. Deep beneath the rolling hills of Xi'an, an army stands in perfect formation. Row upon row of warriors, faces stern with determination, weapons ready for battle. But these soldiers will never march. They are made of clay, yet they represent one of the most ambitious engineering projects in human history. You think Henry Ford invented the assembly line? He didn't. China did, over 2,000 years earlier. Chinese engineers created a manufacturing system so advanced, it produced 8,000 unique soldiers, each one different from the last. A feat modern factories still struggle to replicate. This wasn't just art. It was an industrial revolution buried underground. A project so vast, it consumed 700,000 workers, pushed technology to its breaking point, and left mysteries modern science still can't solve. Picture this. You're an engineer in 220 BC. The emperor who unified China through brutal conquest walks up to you and says, "I want an entire army. 8,000 soldiers, each one unique, each one life-sized, and I want it done before I die." You have no blueprints, no modern machinery, no computers to calculate proportions, just clay, fire, and human hands. Oh, and if you fail, you'll probably be executed along with your entire family. The numbers alone should have made this project impossible. We're talking about 6,000 tons of clay. That's the weight of about 40 blue whales. The project required an estimated 700,000 workers, more people than live in most modern cities. They had to coordinate potters, sculptors, painters, kiln operators, and laborers across multiple production sites, all working toward a single, unified vision. But here's what's truly mind-blowing. They didn't just succeed. They created a manufacturing system so sophisticated that it makes modern assembly lines look primitive by comparison. The genius of the Terracotta Army wasn't in individual artistry, it was in the system. While European craftsmen were still making items one at a time, Chinese engineers had cracked the code of mass production with customization. Here's how their revolutionary system worked. They created what we'd now call a modular assembly system. Think of it like building with Lego blocks, but each block was a perfectly crafted body part. They had a library of pre-made components, 8 basic head shapes, multiple arm positions, different leg stances, various torso sizes. But here's the brilliant part. They could mix and match these components to create thousands of unique combinations. The process started with the torso. Workers used a coil building technique, rolling clay into long ropes and spiraling them upward from a flat base. This wasn't just artistic choice, it was engineering necessity. This method prevented the clay from collapsing under its own weight and ensured uniform wall thickness, critical for even firing in the kilns. Meanwhile, other teams were press molding the limbs, heads, and accessories using 2-part clay molds. Archaeologists have identified the limited number of mold types, proving this was true mass production. But then came the stroke of genius that made each warrior unique. After the basic head shape was removed from the mold, master artisans added hand-applied details, different hairstyles, mustaches, beards, expressions, ear shapes. This is why no two faces are exactly alike. They used mass production for efficiency, then added customization for individuality. The hands were mostly modeled by hand, explaining the variety of grips and gestures, perfectly suited to hold wooden weapons that have long since decayed. The system was flexible enough to produce different body types and postures. Kneeling archers, standing infantry, officers, charioteers, all from the same library of parts. This wasn't just manufacturing. This was manufacturing with artificial intelligence, 2,000 years before computers existed. Creating life-sized, freestanding clay figures that could survive firing and millennia underground wasn't just an artistic challenge. It was a structural engineering nightmare that would make modern architects sweat. The Chinese engineers solved problems that shouldn't have been solvable with ancient technology. Each warrior had to be hollow enough to prevent explosion during firing. Trapped moisture turns to steam and can shatter clay, but solid enough to stand upright for eternity. Their solution was brilliant. Hollow torsos with solid legs. The coiled, hollow torso reduced weight and prevented firing disasters. The legs were made solid to provide a stable, weight-bearing base. This follows fundamental principles of structural design that we still use today. Low center of gravity prevents toppling. But they went further. Inside each torso, they built clay pillars and internal walls to prevent slumping during the drying and firing process. The lower halves of the figures are denser than the upper halves, creating perfect weight distribution. These weren't just sculptures. They were engineered structures designed to last forever. And here's what's truly incredible. They achieved this level of structural sophistication without a single mathematical calculation, without computer modeling, without stress analysis software. They did it through pure engineering intuition and trial and error perfection. If you think firing pottery in your backyard kiln is challenging, imagine firing 8,000 life-sized clay warriors without cracking or exploding a single one. The Chinese engineers didn't just solve this problem. They created an industrial firing system that wouldn't be matched for centuries. They built massive trench kilns near the mausoleum site. These weren't simple pottery kilns. They were precision-engineered furnaces, long tunnel-like structures that could maintain consistent temperatures across their entire length. The temperature had to be controlled between 950 and 1050 degrees Celsius, hot enough to vitrify the clay into ceramic stoneware, but not so hot as to cause warping or cracking. Achieving and maintaining this temperature uniformly across such large objects for extended periods required master-level kiln management. They had to control airflow, fuel consumption, and heat distribution with mathematical precision, using nothing but experience and intuition. The firing process transformed fragile, sun-dried clay into durable ceramic that could withstand the weight of centuries. This vitrification process, turning clay into a glass-like substance, was so perfectly executed that the warriors emerged from the kilns ready for an eternal campaign. While the clay soldiers are impressive, the weapons they carried represent perhaps an even greater engineering achievement. The Terracotta Army was equipped with fully functional bronze weapons produced with a quality and standardization that wouldn't be seen again for over 1,000 years. Here's what should blow your mind. The weapons were made with such precise standardization that any crossbow trigger could fit any crossbow. Any arrowhead would fit any shaft. This level of interchangeable parts manufacturing wasn't achieved in Europe until the Industrial Revolution. But the real engineering miracle was in the metallurgy. The bronze swords were treated with a chromate conversion coating, a rust-proofing technique that wasn't supposed to be invented until the 20th century. When archaeologists found these weapons after 2,000 years underground, they were still sharp and untarnished. Modern metallurgists are still trying to figure out exactly how they achieved this. The Chinese had essentially created an ancient version of modern quality control and material science, producing weapons that met military specifications with tolerances that would impress modern manufacturers. The engineering didn't stop with the warriors themselves. The pits containing the army are architectural marvels that demonstrate sophisticated understanding of structural engineering and preservation science. The figures were placed in specially constructed, rammed earth corridors. These weren't just holes in the ground. They were engineered spaces with brick-paved floors and wooden ceilings supported by massive load-bearing pillars and crossbeams. The layout mimics actual battle formations: vanguard, main force, flanks, command structure. The preservation system was genius in its simplicity. After the figures were placed, the entire structure was sealed and buried deep underground, creating an anoxic environment. No oxygen, no decay. This wasn't accidental. It was deliberate preservation engineering that kept the painted colors and wooden structures intact for centuries. The Chinese engineers had essentially built a time capsule using principles of environmental control that we're only now beginning to fully understand. Managing this project required logistical coordination that would challenge modern project managers with all their computers and communication systems. The Chinese did it with nothing but human organization and brilliant planning. They had to coordinate material sourcing across the empire. The clay came from local deposits, but the colored pigments, cinnabar for red, azurite for blue, malachite for green, were sourced from mines across China. This required a supply chain spanning thousands of miles, managed without phones, emails, or modern transportation. The workforce of 700,000 people had to be housed, fed, organized, and managed. That's like running a city dedicated entirely to this one project. They needed hierarchical management structures, quality control systems, and production scheduling that would make modern manufacturers envious. Different teams worked on different components simultaneously. Some mining clay, others firing kilns, others painting finished pieces. The coordination required to bring all these elements together at the right time, in the right quantities, with the right quality, represents organizational engineering at its finest. Here's the humbling truth. Despite all our modern technology, we couldn't build the Terracotta Army today. Not exactly as they did it. We've lost the specific clay composition they used. We don't know their exact firing techniques. The chromate coating on the weapons remains a metallurgical mystery. Most importantly, we've lost the human systems, the organizational methods, the quality control processes, the coordination techniques that made such a massive project possible without modern communication and management tools. Modern attempts to recreate individual terracotta warriors have failed to match the durability and precision of the originals. Our mass production systems can create identical copies, but we struggle to achieve their combination of standardization with individualization. The Chinese engineers of 220 BC achieved something that represents the perfect fusion of art, engineering, and industrial organization. They created a manufacturing system that was simultaneously efficient and creative, standardized and unique, massive in scale yet precise in execution. The Terracotta Army stands as more than just a collection of clay soldiers. It's a 2,000-year-old testament to human engineering capability that challenges everything we think we know about ancient technology and organization. These weren't primitive craftsmen working with simple tools. These were sophisticated engineers who understood mass production, quality control, material science, structural engineering, and project management at a level that wouldn't be matched for nearly 2 millennia. When you stand before these silent warriors today, you're not just looking at art. You're looking at the blueprint of industrial civilization, created by minds that solved problems we're still trying to understand. They built not just an army, but a manufacturing revolution that was buried and forgotten, waiting 2,000 years for the world to catch up to their vision. The Terracotta Army isn't just ancient history. It's a reminder that human ingenuity, properly organized and brilliantly executed, can achieve the impossible. And sometimes, the most advanced technology isn't the newest. It's the one that works so well, it lasts forever. But the engineering marvels of ancient China didn't stop with clay soldiers. The same civilization that created this manufacturing miracle also built weapons so advanced they wouldn't be reinvented for centuries. Click here to discover the brutal weapons that made Chinese armies the most feared force in the ancient world.